So welcome to the stream, guys. It's good to see you. So I just streamed yesterday, but today is obviously another day. Today is Monday. Today we have the Monday range forming, so that this is always exciting. So far, so I don't know if I think some of you guys were in the stream yesterday. I think Xleo was in the stream and Big Man as well. So what we talked about was that we want to see a continuation on Bitcoin, and it actually looked quite good, right? So this was what I was watching right here. So yesterday Bitcoin had a really nice rally. It did have this bearish divergence, but then it had this nice higher low on price action, and then this nice 4-hour candle that closed above all of these highs. This was a really nice continuation signal. Usually, the only downside to that was that obviously price action pumped into a Sunday, which is always a bit of kind of suspicious, you know. But nonetheless, price action started to look quite good. But then it pulled back again. But for me, this was also a bullish signal because it actually kept making higher lows, right? So if you just look at price action without any indicators, without any indicators, it just looks like this. And for me, this is bullish price action, right? So I was surprised a bit to see. So the first tell that this was kind of a mini trap, I have to say, is that this 4-hour candle didn't manage to close above this high right here. Didn't close above this high, which you need for continuation, right? And the next 4-hour candle closed negatively, and here we are. So it was a bit of a trap, like not the biggest, only like 1.6% downside, right? But I got stopped out of my Bitcoin long, so I tried this really tight Bitcoin long. So my entry was this 4-hour continuation candle. My stop loss was below the swing low, but yeah, so I only lost 0.78%, which is not the biggest, right? It's part of the game. Nonetheless, this was a lost trade on my side, and now we are rejecting. But Bitcoin is still in higher low category, right? Like it hasn't lost its total market structure yet. It's still kind of fine, but obviously it's not looking the best. What I would really like to see now is, like, this screams for me that Bitcoin should basically take liquidity from these lows, right? Like you have the liquidity below these lows, and I want to see Bitcoin taking this liquidity. I think taking liquidity is needed for either side. So either it takes liquidity from these highs above right here, or it takes liquidity from these lows right here. I don't care which side it takes liquidity from, but I think it needs to take liquidity for the next move. So this is where I will be looking for as a next potential play. So either price action comes back up and wicks above the size for an SFP, or which is more the more likely case that price action is going to be going more down and take this liquidity right here, right? Question is, does it make a higher low or not? Like if we look at price action, it did manage to make a first higher low right here, right? Like this was the first higher low it made, and then all of these higher lows followed, right? Now the question is, does Bitcoin go just below this low and take liquidity, or even this one as well? I will be playing it pretty safe. I'm gonna be as per usual, waiting for RSI bullish divergence. I'm not just gonna be trying to play a liquidity trade setup. I'm gonna be waiting for price action to reach this one right here and this one right here. I'm gonna set alert for both cases, and I will be looking if price action then forms some sort of bullish divergence on the RSI indicator, right? I think this is the best way to go about it for now. And the reason why I'm interested in this potential long right here is Bitcoin would take liquidity right there and dump into a Woodsbot confluence area, right? So this is not a bad place to look for potential longs, especially if it SFPs and has a nice bullish divergence. But this is the area I'm interested in longing, and this is probably the only area for me to be interested in longs for now. Like, I don't see, so either price action holds this area right here, maybe takes liquidity and creates an SFP, we claim this, but as long as it closes above this area, price action is still fine for more upside. But if it actually closes below these lows on a daily time frame, I mean, yeah, get ready for low 60Ks again, like 60K towards 58K. We still have 8 hours left. Okay, so there's still a lot of time for price action to do anything else than dumping, right? So there's still a chance it can reverse back up, but I'm not betting on it. It doesn't look like the momentum doesn't look like it's gonna be bouncing anytime soon, right? Yo, stop deep damage. Nice to see you. So yeah, this is the only area for me for longs. The only area of interest for me. It aligns with Fibonacci. It aligns with Woodsbot levels. It aligns with liquidity. So this is a must-hold area. And if it doesn't hold, get ready for low 60Ks, in my opinion. Other than that, I think that's it for Bitcoin. For Ethereum, pretty much the same thing. Even though it dumps quite more aggressively than Bitcoin, which naturally makes sense because it has a lower market cap, right? But again, for Ethereum, it's also a similar area. This area needs to hold. Maybe you have an SFP, where it takes liquidity, but if it closes back above this area, this should be considered a long. But this is definitely a must-hold area. It can't close a daily candle below this Woodsbot confluence zone. It just can't, And if it does, get ready for lower prices. For Ethereum, in this case, if it does actually close below these lows and the confluence zone, then you can expect for Ethereum to definitely go towards this area right there, around 1,750. Maybe it tries to take liquidity here as well, but it also could form a higher low in this area without taking liquidity. But this would be the next area of interest for Ethereum if it closes the daily candle below these lows, right? So similar playbook to Bitcoin. I think I don't have to tell you guys. Obviously, if Ethereum manages to close at any point a daily candle above these highs, right? Like this is a continuation towards the upside, right? I think this is pretty clear. Same for Bitcoin. If Bitcoin manages to close above this Woodsbot level right here above these highs. This will signal that bulls are in control and that the price action is going to go higher. But until that doesn't happen, I think we can expect lower prices. Yeah, big man, I'm also expecting lower prices for now. So that's about that's the analysis for Bitcoin and Ethereum. I think pretty easy, simple read. You don't have to overcomplicate it, no. Let me actually set alerts for this area on Ethereum for longs and shorts. Like, this is still a range, right? And you have to respect the range. So Ethereum just rejected off range highs, so you can expect a retest of range lows. And as of yet, there should be no reason to expect price action to close below the range lows. But if it does, obviously you have to be prepared for that. That's where stop losses come in place, right? And then you can expect low prices. Other than that, let's get to altcoins. Except you have already some questions regarding Bitcoin and Ethereum. Oh, good, perfect. Yo, RK, I think I saw you in stream, right? Like on the Twitch, on the Twitch streams in the Woods chat. When it comes to altcoins, I still have the same altcoins on my radar. I'm still looking at PumpFun. PumpFun is like this is crazy. Like, if you guys caught this Monday range high retest, so this was the retest of the Monday range high from last week. This was a perfect retest from the Monday range high with the Woodsbot level, with the 4-hour demand zone. Perfect retest. This gave you a how much? Almost 30% move. Kind of crazy. Just based on a 4-hour demand zone, 4-hour Woodsbot level, and a Monday range high retest, right? All you had to be was patient. Oh, perfect deep damage. Yeah, that was a crazy long. Yes, like PumpFun still looks fine to me. Like, I don't expect for PumpFun to just go lower. Like, if a coin is trending strong, let it trend continue, right? Let it pump. I'm not looking for shorts right now. The only shorts I'm willing to enter on PumpFun is in this area right here, so around 0.0031, and in this confluence zone. So if PumpFun pumps into this area, I will be looking for shorts if it has bearish divergence, like at minimum on the 4-hour time frame. If it doesn't have bearish divergence on the 4-hour, I'm not going to be shorting this. It needs to have at least 4-hour bearish divergence at minimum. And if it doesn't, I'm going to be waiting for the next area, which would be this area right here. So if PumpFun manages to accept above this resistance and then pumps again, and then takes liquidity from this high right here and from this high right here, this should create a nice SFP, maybe pumps even up into this area and then rejects. So this is where I will be looking to mainly short PumpFun. This should be the main, like, this is the main resistance, right? You have. like the prior main resistance was this one below right here, where it broke out of from its long consolidation. You had this massive range building up. You had the multiple highs right there, and you couldn't see as soon as pump fund basically retested this area. This was its sign to go ballistic, right? So this massive range was the last major resistance, and the next major resistance now is right here, right? You have these highs right here, you have these highs right here. You see pump fund using the now resistance back then as support to bounce and pump its natural pump, you know, like this is major resistance, well, major support back in the day. So this is a huge resistance. So this is definitely of interest for shorts. And ideally, you want to see pump fund taking liquidity when it gets to this area and then short it. Right, this would be the ideal place. So this is where I'm very likely going to be shorting pump fund. And this is just a range trading playbook. This is just a normal range trade. So it takes liquidity, likely has some bearish divergence. Then you always have a few free short for at least a couple of percentage. So definitely make sure to set alerts for both of these levels, for this level right here, and definitely for this level, right? Until pump fund reaches these levels, I'm not gonna be looking to swing short it, even though it does has bearish divergence, even on the 12-hour right now. For me, it hasn't reached its main targets yet. So I want to be patient. I like to be patient. I like to when I get into a trade, I like to have a really banger trade. You know, I like to be really picky with my trades. I'm willing to wait for these levels. And if it gets there, it's very likely gonna be a shot. So make sure to set your alerts for these levels. And I'm pretty sure we are gonna go back to these levels once it hits on the next couple of live streams. You know, I don't know how long it's gonna take for pump fund to reach these levels. But maybe 1 week, maybe 2 weeks. I don't know. It's always so hard to time things in the market. So this is for pump fund. You could look for shorts right now, but I'm not betting on it. Like it's still, it does have bearish divergence right on the 12-hour, but it's when you go to the lower time frame, it just retested the 50 mark, right? So it can still bounce quite a bit. So I wouldn't be betting too much on it right now. Oftentimes when a coin is trending hard, you would be surprised how long a coin can trend, right? It also can just consolidate, reset momentum before going back higher. So even though it has bearish divergence on it, it doesn't mean that it's just gonna be dumping straight downwards. So be patient on pump fund, and if you're in a long position, definitely consider to take some profits. Deep damages in a pump fund long, but definitely look to take some profits along the way. You should all be big in profits, so yeah, don't, you know, profits is only profits if you actually take some profits, you know. Otherwise it's just a green number on your chart. I had my full TP taken. Okay, nice. Yeah, then you're good to go. All right. Other than that, I wanted to look at Pengu, and I wanted to have a look at WorldCoin and Hype. Let's start with Hype. Hype, super slow moving at the moment, like extremely slow moving. If you look at the 4-hour time frame, this is not. This is just some weird ass slow consolidation, right? It's not really doing anything. It's holding, but it's not really doing anything. Ideally, I want to look for longs in this confluence zone right here. So similar to Bitcoin and Ethereum, where you have the confluence zone just a little bit lower. The same goes for Hype. I'm looking for Hype to go into this area. For now, it keeps managing to hold this area. But it's such a weird place to hold away, in my opinion. It's just a weird way. I don't know. If I look at it, it's such a weird place to hold a range, you know. I don't know if you guys see it the same way, but it just looks weird for Hype to be ranging in this area. It kind of feels wrong. I don't know how else to describe it. It kind of feels wrong. Ideally, I still want to see Hype just pushing down towards this confluence zone. You know, take this liquidity right here. Maybe have bullish divergence even, and then coming into this area. This would be a nice long. But for now, it's holding the range lows, or forming a range, rather. But I've set my alerts, so I'm just gonna be waiting for Hype to get into this area. And if it manages to keep holding this range, it's fine by me as well. Then I will be looking for price action to basically accept above this level, above this 4-hour confluence level. And then look for continuation. So if it wants to form a range, it's fine by me. I'm just gonna set myself alerts and wait for price action to get there. But on Hype, there's not much else to do. I do not recommend trading this kind of mini range. It's not worth it in my opinion. Just set yourself alerts and wait for price action to get there on Hype. I'm just gonna have a quick look at WorldCoin, and then I'm gonna have a look at AVE. I just wanted to see what's happening on WorldCoin, because it pumped 9% today. Okay, so the overall chart is definitely cooked. Okay, like there's no coming back from this. At least very likely. I doubt it's gonna be yet. Not gonna be making new all-time highs. Ever, I think. But that doesn't mean that it can't bounce, right? It retested the weekly demand zone right here after it closed below the 10-10 lows. This looks similar to most other coins as well, right? If you look at Pump Farm, this is a similar playbook, right? If you go back to Pump Farm and how it looked right here, but you had this really nice clean range, and then Pump Farm finally broke out of the range and retested it, right? Like this was the retest that led for Pump Farm to break out and pump really, really high. And it looks similar on WorldCoin, but it's just getting started. So on WorldCoin you also have this nice, not as long, and so you don't have as much consolidation on WorldCoin like you did on Pump Farm. but you still have a range, right? And PumpFun WorldCoin managed to break out of this range, close above this high. So if it follows if it follows PumpFun in its price action, it should come back a little bit more. We test the range highs, and if it does, this could definitely be considered a long. I don't know if WorldCoin is on breakout. Oh, it is. So WorldCoin is also on breakout. So this could be definitely be something of interest. I haven't taken any trades on the fresh breakout account. Usually I like to wait for price action to to form on Monday before I make any moves. This has been quite a lackluster Monday so far. But let's see what the week gets us. But this could be a nice retest on WorldCoin. Let's have a look at ETH. Yeah, ETH is not looking too hot. You had this nice triple bearish divergence that led to its dump. And now it's just trending down. Momentum is also looking pretty bearish on ETH, I have to say. This is not looking good. But the volatility is increasing. You see how volatility is increasing. But momentum is towards the downside, right? This usually means that this is going to be a range breakout. Obviously, it still has 3.5 hours left. But usually this kind of volatility and momentum setup leads to a breakout in the range. In this case, it would be a range breakout to the downside. And this could go towards 87 potentially, like 87, 86. Like this would be my first target. Maybe it bounces there, but this is definitely looking bearish. I'm looking for a last month low sweep. I want 38 and then long. Like I'm not sure if I want if I would want to long this. Like even if it sweeps below the low. Like even if it sweeps it, I mean if it is a piece and you have bullish diversions on it for sure. But it's not safe, like this momentum on ETH is looking pretty bearish. So I would definitely be conservative because you have volatility at the lows, right? You have volatility at the lows, and you have bearish momentum forming. So this could be a nasty play for shorts. I can see ETH coming back down below this area towards 78. Which is not a lot percentage-wise, but I can definitely see ETH going back towards 78. But yeah, I think it does definitely sweep the 38 area. If you want to hop into a long You have to decide it basically when it's gonna be happening at that moment. But yeah, I do think it's gonna be sweeping this. I took a long at 90.47 from the Twitch ring. Was this from Woods? If this was a Woods trade, I would just follow his stop loss. If he is still in the trade, I would just also be in the trade. I mean, it is sitting at range support, right? So it can easily bounce as well. Even though this is a bearish setup, it's still 3 hours left, right? So it can still pump maybe towards the entry, you know, or even higher towards 91, and then dump in the same candle, right? Like both can be happening at the same in the same 4-hour candle. So I would just follow Woods trades. He does. He's a better trader than I am, so I would recommend following him. But for me, in my opinion, this is a bearish signal. But only if the 4-hour candle closes the RSI like it does, right? But again, there's 3 hours and 20 minutes left, so a lot can happen in this time. Do you guys have any questions so far? Do you guys have questions regarding my reasoning, regarding my logic, how I analyze things? Yeah, I covered ETH. ETH is pretty simple. It's similar to Bitcoin. It's sitting right at a demand zone right here, like this order block right here. So it can bounce right now. Or it should bounce right now. Let's put it that way. Overall, I will be looking for ETH for potential longs in this area right here, in this confluence zone on a daily time frame. Until that happens, I will be patient on Ethereum. And the other option is if you see Ethereum closing a daily candle above these highs right here. You have these highs right here, right? These highs right here. This confluence zone. If you see price action closing above these highs in confluence zone, this is a long signal, right? So pretty simple. Look for potential longs in this confluence zone, but only if there's bullish divergence on the lower time frame. Or wait for price action to accept above these highs, and don't trade in the middle, basically. You don't want to get caught in the middle because of risk to reward ratio, right? But now this is a place to bounce. Like this is a nice order block it's sitting right now. So there's definitely potential for a bounce. But this bounce should not go back above these highs, in my opinion. And if it does, I'm happy as well, because then I can look for longs, right? If you see price action basically closing above these highs, like this is a mega long signal, right? Like this is a straight up long. Like this is a free long if you see price action closing a 4-hour candle above these highs. But until that doesn't happen, you should treat the range as the range it is, right? So look for shorts around range highs and look for longs around range lows. The range lows are around this level right here, and range highs are right here. And you can also look for shorts right here. But don't risk too much. This is a super tight range, and liquidity can be taken really easily, and you can get stopped out of your trades quickly. For me, for my personal trading style, I don't really like to trade these kind of ranges. I rather like to I like to wait for confirmations. You know, it's just easier. Other than that, let's have a quick look at Pengu. So Pengu is still looking really nice based on market structure. It did manage to close the 12-hour time frame above this range highs. So this is massive. But ideally you want to see the daily actually close, because if you look at the daily actually created it as a P right here, right? Like it took liquidity and closed below the range highs. So you really want to see an actual daily candle closure above these highs for Pengu. You don't want to get baited, you know, like you want to see an actual candle closure above these highs, range highs, if you want to see continuation on Pengu. So definitely make sure to wait 77 hours for that. Yes, it did close the 12-hour candle above this, but as you can see on the daily time frame, this is why it's important to have. That's why it's important to look at different time frames, you know, because if you look at the 12-hour time frame or the 4-hour time frame, you can say, okay, this is fucking bullish because it's close above the range highs, right? But if you look at the daily, it actually never closed above the range highs yet, right? And the daily is obviously more important than the 4-hour or the 1-hour time frame. So always make sure to align your analysis with higher time frame levels as well, right? Yes, the 12-hour looks good, but if you look at the daily, it still needs to close above, right? So make sure to keep this in mind, to have this in your mind. You always double check your other time frames as well. For Tau, yes, it did break. It did close above the range highs. Looking at the lower time frame, it's not. I still can see the possibility of Tau going down one more time or bouncing again. Like you see how the on the 1 hour Tau was rejecting the 50 mark, right? For me, this means that Tau is not just yet ready to continue higher. We want to see Tau actually accepting above the 50 mark, you know, not rejecting it. So I would definitely wait for that first. Because there's still a possibility where Tau can just basically sweep this low right here and then go into this demand zone right here, and then look for a bounce, or even go a bit lower right here. So I don't think Tau is ready yet for higher prices. I think it can definitely dump more. Pepe dominance? I didn't even. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't even know there was something like Pepe dominance. I know Bitcoin dominance, but what the fuck? Pepe dominance? I've never heard about Pepe dominance. So what is Pepe dominance? Is it the same thing like Bitcoin dominance, just with Pepe? Or is it dominance compared to the rest of altcoins, or to the whole market? Pepe dominance, man, I'm getting fucking old. I'm getting fucking old. I don't even know how to look for this. Is it just this? Like, is it just the market cap, or what is it? Pepe.d. There it is, Pepe dominance. My god. Pepe fucking dominant. I've never heard about this. I'm sorry. I had a rough day today, so this is making me laugh. Pepe fucking dominance. I mean, yeah. I don't even know what to say about about this, to be honest. Like, it has bullish divergence on Pepe dominance, but I'm not I'm not actually quite sure. Pepe fucking dominance. To be quite clear, I'm not laughing at you or P, right? I'm just laughing because I've never heard about this. I mean, yeah, I mean, when I look at the Pepe dominance chart, it's looking bullish, yeah. But that doesn't mean that Pepe is gonna be bouncing, right? Like, it's the same thing with Bitcoin dominance. Just because Bitcoin dominance is pumping, for example, in this case it isn't, but if Bitcoin dominance is pumping, that doesn't mean that Bitcoin is gonna pump, right? It just means that Pepe might be going sideways while the rest of the market is dumping, right? So you always have to contextualize it, you know? So just because dominance is going up doesn't mean that it's gonna be pumping. It just means it's gonna be performing better than the rest of the market, which can mean that it's just gonna be going sideways. Yeah, so be aware of that. It doesn't mean it's gonna be pumping straight away. But yes, Pepe dominance is definitely looking nice. Yeah. You know, like, if the rest of the market dumps 60%, Pepe will then maybe only dump 30%, you know, and has still positive Pepe dominance. Okay, last coin to look at is Solana. Yeah, for Solana, this is quite clearly a range high retest. It rejected from the range highs, then it formed a lower high. Now Solana should make a lower low, so it should go below these lows and even close below this low. The next area of interest are this 4-hour demand was somewhat here, and then the Woodsbot level right there, which is the range retest right here, right? So yeah, Solana should definitely go lower before you should consider longing it. It can definitely bounce here, right here, then make another lower high, but I do think it's gonna go at least towards this 4-hour demand zone. This should be the case here. Now don't make me look at Filecoin dominance. if there's a dominant chart for, okay, I'm actually curious if there is there a dominant chart for Filecoin. Filecoin.d. It actually is. My god. What did I miss? Am I just getting too old for this? Like, I started in crypto when I was 22. Now I'm 27. Maybe I'm just getting too old. I'm just washed up. Like, I'm not hippie anymore, you know? fucking Filecoin dominance. Back in my days, we treated coins like this these were just meme coins, you know? Now we're treating these coins like they are securities. Oh man. Yeah, strong parts will dominate. Exactly. Actually, Filecoin dominance is looking quite bullish as well. This is so stupid. Alright, I think this is a good place for me to end the stream. I'm noticing I'm laughing at Filecoin dominance, so I think this is a good place to end the stream. Thank you guys for coming. I'm gonna be seeing you guys on Wednesday. I hope you guys had learned something. I hope you guys had some fun. I certainly did have had some fun with you guys. Yeah, I went over every coin I wanted to talk about. I talked a lot about the indicator setups that I'm looking to take and trade. Make sure to stay safe because Bitcoin is dumping. And you know what that means, right? Yeah, it's not looking too hot, but it's also not looking too bad. I don't think there's a reason to panic. I'm gonna be seeing you guys on Wednesday. Yeah, have a nice rest of your day. Enjoy your evening, guys, and I'll see you guys next Wednesday. Bye bye.